We cannot play by the script of the politicians, what they want us to do. They want us to give them the formula. They want us to give them the leaders because they have the antidote for that. They know how to target where there is a plan that is open. They know how to target when there are leaders. Hata kama if Gen Z will not be bought, they will be kidnapped and killed and compromised, and their families targeted. You think we are dealing with someone who is respecting constitution? Ndio mumupe leaders hapo. The moment you give them people there, sutaanza kuona watu wana disappear. So you think Gen Zs are stupid not giving the leaders? They know what they are playing with. So I'm telling you people, millennial na ndio mko hapa na Gen X na hao wengine, please don't be scared, because I think if fear ndio inafanya watu wa behave vile mna behave hapa. We are dealing with someone who is not listening, someone cannot reason with. So the thing is,
Mwende,
people need him to do, or he goes.
Mwende, sawa, tumekusikia, sawa. Sawa. Either he does what people want him to do, or he goes. Okay, let's move it along. I've been here for a very long time. I'm trying to close it up. And the likes of Mwende here in her imagination can keep us here for another 30 minutes, God damn it. So I want to take you out of your imagination and out of all this motivational speaking you guys are doing, because there's a lot of that. There's a lot of whipping up emotions. Mwende actually sounds like those Black American women calling their boyfriends for a fight. Come here and fight this guy. This guy, you two should fight each other. How dare he tell me that he wants to sleep with me? You sound like those women who call black men for a fight. So it sounds good, but it's just emotions. There's no substance behind what you say. Bila strategy, hii ni makelele tu unatupigia Mwende. Hakuna strategy. We should. Sawa, hiyo ni motivational speaking, lakini hakuna pali inaenda. Goes nowhere. And that's the same thing. That's why I even got frustrated with Dr. Ekuru. Because even him, he was starting to sound like you. You've all become activists. I'm like, where are the strategists? What happened to those people? Everybody's all emotional, complaining. What happened to the people who plan? So come here with a plan. Tell us, hey, the plan here is this. We can do this and this. But don't come and complain about the person we are fighting, because that doesn't build us at all. It doesn't help us.
But Kibe, you want a conventional plan, what you are used to. Whatever Gen Zs are doing is the plan. That is the plan. Kwa hivyo usingoje kitu inakaa ile umezoea. Just because you are not used to something and how things are done doesn't mean it's not a plan. It is a plan, and it is
okay. So now for us to say, and I want you to just flow with me here. So for us to say, we have seen. We have seen how these guys have done their thing, and we see the opportunity for more benefit from this movement. Would that be like a bad thing? Is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing. Actually, what I said is that if the person we are dealing with had a good will, he doesn't have
no. I don't want us to. I don't want. There you go. Go. Now, you're back to focusing on him. Focus on me.
Okay.
Focus on me. Yeah, don't focus on Ruto. Ruto is not part of this conversation.
Okay, so the plan for this movement, I think this movement
I'm saying,
plan.
Wouldn't it be better though if we agreed on what the plan is, so that we can all put our efforts on that? Don't you think that would be a better idea?
That is a better idea, but the plan should not include selling the movement short.
No, the plan doesn't. There is no plan yet. There's no plan yet.
There is no plan yet. Lakini kuna watu plan inaenda. They want us to go the script tena ya Raila tena, and Raila has not succeeded.
No. Stay with me. Mwende. Mwende, stay with me. Yes. Stay with me.
Yes.
Forget about Raila. Forget about anybody else. Just stay here with me.
Yes.
Okay, so there's no plan yet. What we are doing here is we're just working on a team that will coordinate all your brilliant ideas and everybody's brilliant ideas and bring them to a central location where we can now focus our efforts on one thing at a time. That's all we're doing. So there's no Raila, there's no Ruto, there's nothing. What we're doing is actually carving out a part of this government for ourselves. That's all we're doing.
That is absolutely correct. But also, when we are talking about that, then people should not divert. Because nimesikia some, I raised my hand because of
No. This is just me and you. This is just you and I.
Hearing what are they saying?
Mwende, this is just you and I. Forget about other people. This is just you and I. So that's all we're doing here. So I'm the host of this program.
Okay.
And we do and so we're trying to redirect the conversation from the whining that we've been doing for the last 3 weeks, because we've done a lot of whining. You know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done a lot of complaining and a lot of talking about the enemy, while we should be focusing on what our strengths are.
Exactly.
So that's all we're doing, redirecting us from talking that nonsense to what our strengths are, and the time when we get, because we must confront the person that we're dealing with, and the time that once we get to sit there, how are we going, or which team, or how are we going to think? Because we must get there. Either we kick him out and we say, forget about the constitution, let's kick this guy out. Okay, we can do that.
Exactly. Yes.
We can say completely, don't talk to me about the constitution. It's all anarchy. We're kicking everybody out. Or follow the constitution. So there are only two ways about it. So your way has us not following the constitution, which is also I'm very interested in hearing this, but I don't want you to go back to them, because we have forgotten about them. We have said this government doesn't work for us, and we're not following the constitution when we're kicking them out, and now we're just kicking them out. So we don't need to follow any part of the constitution. Let's just go in there and tell them fuck off.
No, I didn't say we cannot follow the constitution. I said the framers of the constitution were not foolish, putting that you can impeach the president. They didn't think they are putting that something that is impossible. What I'm saying is that there are people who hear even the constitutional way, wanakuja wanasema it is impossible. Even the protest, it is impossible. So, sababu, should we stay in sin so that the grace abounds? No. Sababu, if we are saying this is a constitution which we are following, because nimesema Kenyans don't like inconveniences. Wataki kwenda to collect signatures, they don't want to push their leaders and everything. That is the problem. It's not like we don't have way out. The constitution envisioned we can do, even the president can resign. That is the first thing in the constitution. How can a president move out of power? First one is resigning. And how does resigning happen? Do you think resigning, mtu anaamkanga asubuhi tu ana resign? No. Someone resigns because there is a pressure, and that's what the protests are doing. They are bringing pressure in there. So what I'm saying is that there are people in this movement who want the status quo to remain, who want us to continue operating as usual. We need, yes, a strategy, but these strategies don't need to be strategies for the coward. Because what I'm hearing is that people are like, oh, tuongee nini. You know, you have seen, kwani unataka mtu akuchape mara mbili ndio ujue atakuchapa kesho. You know, amefanya vitu you
so sahi, sawa Monday. So now, your option is let's do away with the constitution and let's go down this other route.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay, hold up. You talked about impeaching the president. So you know the process of impeaching the president in Kenya.
Yes, I said that. Unakumbuka hata hiyo ndio nilianza nayo. Nikasema the process of impeaching the president, because we cannot do it directly as citizens. The only way we can do is through the members of parliament. And here's the numbers. How can we reduce these numbers of his? Reducing his number ni kurikola watu wake. Alafu watu wanasimama.
Slowly.
Yeah.
So do you know the process of recalling an MP in Kenya?
Yes.
Since the
to recall an MP than a president, because hakuna layers.
What is
so Kenyans? Why are Kenyans scared of recalling MPs?
Wait. Twende pole.
Yes.
So you say you know the process of recalling an MP in Kenya?
Yes.
Have we ever, using this new constitution, have we ever impeached even one MP? Or recalled even one MP?
There is always a first, Kibe. There is always a first. So we
what
cannot
you're
say
saying,
just because
what you're
something has
saying,
not
what you're
been
saying.
done, we cannot.
No. There's a reason why it's not been done. Also, let's be realistic, because you guys want to live in the fantasy. Hold up. Monday, just mute your mic now for a second. Let me put my point across. I don't want us to sound like we're in a marketplace. All right. So this thing that you're saying has not been done. Yet you want to talk about it. I said you can mute your mic. It's okay. It's like a monologue. I want to do a monologue. Let me just help you here. So this thing that you're talking about has not been done by anyone. There's a reason why it's not been done, because the ones who made who wrote the Constitution, made it almost impossible for you to ever get it done. So this game is going on. It's a game. So you decide either you're going to play the game or utachoma game yote. So that's where I want us to be. Let's be clear. Okay? Let's be clear about what we have, what the options that we have. So don't lie and just throw, not lie, I didn't mean to say lie. Don't just throw out options like they're real options. Like just saying, Ruto is going to resign. That's not a real option. That's not real. So get that out of your head. Unless there's a path to it, I don't see that path. But there's a path to get him out. Yeah, you can get him out through where we have a lot of civil unrest. And we say, this guy is no longer our president. And everything goes to shit. So that's a way of doing it. I have no problem with that way. In fact, if you ask me, I would prefer we do it that way than having to sit down and negotiate. Okay? I would prefer that the country goes to shit. I love chaos. You know me. I love seeing this shit burn. So but at least let's be honest in this conversation and say, for real, the only two options that we have is either we burn down this country or we sit down and negotiate. So I want to bring you back there, Mwende. Are we back there now? Take away the emotion from the conversation.
Okay.
Did we lose Mwende?
Seems like.
Hatuwezi kuwa tunaongea emotions hapa. Tuongee kitu realistic, bro. Kitu inaweza. Because emotions is the first few days. Those days were okay when everybody was pissed off. But you cannot be pissed off forever. At some point, common sense must come back. So now we are here at common sense. If we had common sense,
okay,
2 days after in fact, 1 day before June 25th, if we had common sense, unafikiri tungekuwa wapi sasa Mwende?
Okay,
this country would belong to Gen Z, wouldn't it?
I don't know, but let me ask you a question about the government we are dealing with. I want to understand. This is a government that was communicated very, very, very clearly, even when he was here in the X. Aliambiwa what Gen Z wanted and the Kenyans wanted. And one of the things was the cabinet. Now tell me, when he reconstituted the cabinet, okay, and this is a person, munasema kweli, we go and sit down and negotiate with this person or this government, and they are going to do what we need them to do as the citizens of this country. Nataka mtu anieleze kama Karen Nyamu, okay?
Lakini Mwende. You see, what
nikuulize ndio unijibu hili. Anieleze. After agreeing vizuri that we need change in the cabinet and we need this 1, 2, 3 changes, including even bringing to book the people who killed watu wa maandamano. We know the cops are still walking around. Tell me, hiyo tu wacha tuongea ya ministers. Tell me, give me a rational explanation why this guy, after people speaking to him,
okay. We had the question, Mwende. Don't stretch out the question too long.
Tell me.
Okay. Hold on. Mute.
Okay,
mute. Number one, you guys need to know that Ruto is not voluntarily coming to meet anybody. He doesn't want to do that. It wasn't in his plans for when he was writing his rule book that for the next 5 years I'm going to rule Kenya. Do you think he had a plan to ever meet Gen Z or to meet anybody from any movement? No, he didn't have that plan. So he's not coming because he wants to come. He's coming because he has to come. So he's coming under duress. That's why it's a negotiation where you give some, you get some. So if you don't understand that, then you think we are going to appeal to Ruto's good nature. No, you're not appealing to his good nature. His good nature doesn't exist. You cannot go to State House today and tell them, hey, I'm here to see Ruto because he's a good man. No, there must be something you're walking into the door with. So right now, I'm saying there's something to walk to him with, to sit down on a table and negotiate. The same way Raila negotiates, the same way they negotiated in 2007, the same way they've negotiated since 1963, when Raila's dad said, hey, let Uhuru Kenyatta's dad go and get this shit. So it's just a negotiation. I don't know why you guys are getting so worked up about it. Because if you take away the feelings, there's something on the table. Ruto has the whole table. We are saying we want to sit on that table. We want to make decisions. How? Because if you cannot demand something of someone that you cannot do yourself. So if these guys want to do, if indeed this movement wants to get involved, then they must get involved completely. To a point where whatever it is you're saying you're going to fix, you want fixed, you go in there and fix it yourself. So without that, then let's go down the route where we're kicking Ruto out of State House and everybody in government. In fact, let's ban this whole shit. But I don't want someone who's going to pretend like those two are not the only options that we have. Tuhamwe, Mwende. Now you?
Hey.
Allah, what happened to Mwende?
Mwende, did you go silent? Go ahead, I can't hear you, Mwende.
But you're muting me.
No, I'm not muting you, unless you want me to do that. But I'm not muting you. Defend your point.
Me. Okay, don't mute me, please. So, for me, I think maybe I'm an optimist, and I usually think there are so many ways of skinning a rat. And just because something has not been done, this is just my parting shot. Whoever agrees with me will agree with me. Whoever doesn't will not agree with me. I believe there are many ways of skinning a cat. And if there is a way which is available, it should be used, even if it's constitutional. Because people are saying it's that let's put our constitution to test. We can still do that. That is one. Negotiation. The reason why I am worried about negotiation is because the amount of kuchezewa tutachezewa kwa hiyo negotiation table is too much. That will even erode the gains, because mi naona hata mkienda negotiation inafika mahali hata the finance bill will become part of unakuwa sasa what you were fighting for is still back on the table, because one, we cannot trust this regime to keep their word. That is, I wish it was a regime that got so terrified that is willing to keep its word. But the more they get terrified, the more they don't want to keep their word. That is the problem. So, and another thing, we also have to pass a message across to the next generations that the moment you decide to become the president of this country, you have to think twice. Because one, if we let Ruto go scot-free, the way I think people want to get this guy go scot-free without your pressure and everything, na kuambia the next presidency mutapata kwa hii country watawacheza left, right, center, because they know there's nothing you can do. Thank you.
Madam Mwende, that sounds like a curse that you're leaving us. You wasn't sounding like a curse. But anyway, it was really, really nice having you here on the panel. But now let me give some other people a chance to speak as we try to wind this thing up as soon as possible. So I'll give Maina, then Prince Deron, then Yes, Maina, then Prince a chance to speak. While in the meantime, Kibe, if you can add Anthony. Anthony has just lost his system. So please add him back here. So Maina, please go ahead. Mute your mic and speak, Maina. Well, it seems like Maina is not here. So Prince, please go ahead. Prince, I cannot hear you unless I have the problem on my end, but I cannot hear Prince speaking.
Yeah, I can't hear him as well.
So Prince, you might as well have to drop, then come back. There's a hand that is up here. Albert, your hand is up.
Actually, I think Mariam's hand went up first. Maybe she can speak, then I'll come after her.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Mariam.
Albert, you should have said ladies first. You know, the reason why I came up was because I realized that when Kibe was speaking about forming this committee and their vision, I actually did share my vision with what James was speaking about. So this will sound funny, but I came up to actually ask James to repeat what he said earlier about what he thought the vision of the committee was. Thank you. That's why I actually came up. Because I saw a lot of people are confused, including McKenna. Oh, and there's a disconnect between what James was saying and what Kibe and Anthony are saying. Thanks.
And you know, I knew that's where you were going. I knew your diabolical mind. That's where it's going. Yeah, I knew that's why. Hey, if James, you can come back here and just do that thing that you did. Where, Mariam, we see you. Do not sit here like a weasel. Don't be like Mnyamwezi.
No, Kibe.
We are putting our thoughts together, okay? And you need to give us a chance to do that. If you're not helping us put our thoughts together, then sit by the sidelines and watch how it happens. So we shall come to a place where we all agree on one thing. Even with James and with Anthony. Even Anthony, sometimes he says some shit. I'm like, shit, that's not me. But eventually it all comes together. So just chill out. Take it easy, Mariam.
Okay, Mr. Kibe.
What's up, Festy?
Festy is here. My battery is about to die. I've been waiting for some time now, but I want to say something real quick. I think there's something that people are forgetting. That the people you see in power today, they came from somewhere. Yes, some have come from demonstrations, but they have come from somewhere. The people we want people Ruto to fire from the cabinet. They came from somewhere. That's why they qualify to be in that position, depending on where they came from. One example is I had someone say if Ruto resigns today, Gachagua resigns today, Wetangula is going to take over. Where did Wetangula come from? We have seen people campaigning saying that when we win, we are going to give you this post. They said they were going to give, they actually wanted to give this position to Kalonzo. It's only that he didn't change sides. So as we speak, as we go forward, we want to identify these positions that we want to go for. Because until you identify those positions, you'll be campaigning for nothing. You want to be on that table because that is where the decisions are made. Until you identify which positions you want, you will never get there. And the kind of people you want to take those positions. So my battery is about to die. I just wanted to say that the move, we are making progress, identifying people we want to put up there because we cannot be up there, all of us. When we want to go and negotiate, we want to identify people who can negotiate on our behalf. People who have our interest at heart. There is a reason that why Ruto cannot fire Kindiki. It is the same reason we don't want Andrew Kibe to fire Anthony when we get to that table. It is for the same reason people are demonstrating to have Musalia fired, yet we know very well he is part and parcel of that government. So we want to make a group that will be seen as a group that has people who can represent us. Thank you very much, and I'm gone.
that kind of submission is what I call short and straight to the point. Impressive. Thank you very much, Festi. And now, what I'll start doing is I'll start giving people chances to give in their final submission, unless anyone else has anything to say. Unmute your mic and say it now before the final submissions. McKenna. So, okay, McKenna, then Albert, and please, this will be your final submissions. So go ahead, McKenna or Albert, in that order.
I don't see McKenna on the list, but
McKenna is
Albert
not.
is here.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know why I'm seeing his hand up. Okay, then Albert, go ahead, bro.
Perfect. Asante. I just wanted to answer a bit the questions Mwande asked about why Ruto will return the same cabinet secretaries. 22 cabinet secretaries were sacked. 6 were returned. So even though you do a percentage, you'll see that this is a very small percentage of cabinet secretaries who are returned. We could question the credibility of the cabinet secretaries who are returned, but remember, during the week that he sacked and returned only 6, there was a conversation about having some multi-sectoral parliament executive, where the ministerial position will be shared, of course, across the board. And who stepped up to negotiate? Yakulu is coming in, but who is the official opposition in the country is, of course, ODM and or NASA brigade. Is it NASA or yeah? I think it's NASA. And so, of course, at this moment, they stepped up and they said, okay, Raila stepped up and he said he started negotiating for this stuff. We, the movement movers, had no position or had not a chance to actually step up, or a chance was there for us to step up and actually also say this and this, we need this and these positions, but we actually didn't do it. We didn't take it. So Raila stepped up, and of course that's why we see there's the second half of the cabinet secretary is not mentioned yet. We are hoping that at least will come from that end, but it's also hopeful that at least will come from us, the people, or the population, or the movers of the movement. So for me, if the president returned 6, these are 6 important people. Remember, cabinet appointments are not they are political appointments. Most of these 6 who returned are all technocrats. They are from the field that they actually are appointed in. They have been friends to the president, and the president feels that these are the people that will help him deliver his mandate. For example, if the mandate goes up to 2027, I see a lot of bile within us as the population, because we either failed at the ballot or we failed to actually vote at the ballot. And because Kenya always stays in a political climate, then of course we have a big, and remember it was a 50 something, like a very close win. So we have a big majority who didn't actually maybe vote. We have a majority who won, but have a big minority who didn't win. But also, plus now the rage of the youthful population, of course, because of the failed stuff by the government. But I want to say that I think for me the only way forward is we go to the negotiation table, we find a piece of the I don't want to call it a piece of the cake, but rather a piece of the negotiation, and say this is what we require as the youthful population, and this is what we want our future to be written like. But at the same time, we decide on how we are going to vote next. If you want to vote the president out, then vote him out in the next election. But if we only want to step out and demonstrate and call for anarchy, have no plan, have no people to negotiate for us, or table no leaders, then I think we are really headed in a very wrong direction, because we are inciting the youth to be out. They will keep being out. The state has monopoly of force. Of course, they'll use the force. We will lose people, but at the same time, we will call it a revolution, but we'll still not have tabled leaders to actually champion our own interests. So in my thinking, or in my wisdom, I'll just say it's time we put ourselves together. It's time that we actually step out and say, we want this and this to be done, and this is who we think that can represent our interests. Otherwise, if we stay in this state, I think uh, we will see a lot of losses. At the long run, we will not have won as a people. Yes, I understand the political class is there for a short period of time or for some time. I will think if we are able to actually push them to the edge, then negotiate for our wins, or else organize ourselves and put ourselves out on the ballot in the next cycle, or actually edge out the president. This is what I'll say. It's the best way out for me. Yep. Rather than be out and fight futile wars. Back to you, Chris.
Chris, are you there? Los Pepes. Take the mic.
Good afternoon, guys. I'd like to say that first things first. I think I support the idea to have a commission to dialogue with the president, but I don't think this president is the right president for the country. As much as we have to, it's a situation we have found ourselves in, where Kibe has explained we have two options. So I think going to dialogue with the president is an option, but at the same time, he's not the guy to lead us. Ruto will not go with the problems. Like for example, if tukipata CS hata tuchukue CS wa sports mpya achaguliwe, CS wa sports atakuja pale, alafu ataweka let's say mipango ya grow grassroots football, but at the same time, hii football tuseme, nachukua example tu, hii football yenye tuna grow grassroots ikuje ichezwe wapi? Na at the moment tunacheza World Cup qualifiers na our national team inacheza home matches away because we don't have stadiums. We have many problems. Na at the moment, kesho, we are going to have demonstrations. People are going to die. Young people will die tomorrow. We know that. We should do something about that. Sabu, our strength is our numbers. Na zinashinda zikipunguka every day tukienda kudemonstrate. So I feel commission, the first thing yenye commission inaweza fanya, like, I don't know, like, kama kesho naona occupy JKIA, and we know kabla hizi vitu zote zifanyike, tunafaa like to honor ama to account for lives ambazo zimekuwa lost already. I feel demonstrate kama tungekuwa na hiyo council, hiyo committee yenye Kibe alisema, hiyo committee inafaa ikuwe as soon as possible, sababu in real time we are losing lives, young people. Like hii commission ikikuwa inaweza kucontrol, sababu our strength ni hizi numbers zetu na our ability to demonstrate. So kama tunaweza controliwa na like hii council kazi yake sio kwenda, because hata tukienda we get a seat at the table. Let's say hata Kibe amekuwa CS, nasema tu for example, sisemi Kibe akuwe CS, nasema Kibe akiwa CS, accountability bado itakuwa wapi? Tutakuja a few years from now tuende tusalimie Kibe, tuchome pia nyumba yake. So I feel hii council inafaa iende pale kwa president, like tukiwa kwa table, sio kudiscuss for positions, we discuss how to clean up the system, how itakuwa easier next time tukijipata kwa situation kama hii as a country, how tunaweza impeach president rahisi, how we can make such things easier. Alafu kuna some like hii council ikikuwa, like kuna some concessions ambazo Ruto alimake, like ile time after people got into parliament, alisema things like he's willing hata yeye mwenyewe kuchukua austerity measures like kukata salary yake. Hii ni the second month since he said that, na anachukua hiyo salary. I feel hii commission kama hii tunafaa, hii commission tukiunda, I feel tunafaa kumtake to task to vitu kama hizo. Another na like the Ruto keep saying constitution, uphold the law, yet kando yake kuna yule Musalia ambaye ako na ofisi ambayo ni totally unconstitutional. I agree, maybe Musalia anataka kubaki kwa serikali, maybe he wants to serve the people of Kenya. He's been serving us since 1988, but at the moment your position ako now sio constitutional. So if he has to stay, basi work for free. Na pia huyo Ruto pia anafaa afuatwe hiyo mambo ya kupunguza mshahara, because I don't think there's a way a leader anaweza understand need yangu ya kuwa na ugumu wa kulipa thao kuregister ID kama yeye analipwa 2 million. Yeye kwake thao haiwezi kuwa ngumu. I feel watu wanafaa onge language yetu. Na unaona kama kesho hiyo maandamano ya kesho, I wish hata ingekuwa vitu kama Occupy JKIA, tunaenda huko to Occupy IPOA. Kama tungekuwa na council kama hiyo, kama ingekuwa tayari iko functional. And I think kuna watu ambao tayari walikuwa wamechaguliwa, like I had kuna names zimechukuliwa. I'm not sure wamefika wangapi, but vitu kama hizo zinaweza kusaidia like kumitigate ama reduce number ya lives ambazo tunapoteza. Alafu sisi as Kenyans, sisi wenyewe, I think we should look at ourselves. Like kama hii committee we are trying to form up, we are selecting people. At the same time, hii job yenye tunajaribu hii committee ifanya, I think hii kazi, and I say, and nishai challenge Kibe before, hii kazi ya kuunda committee, mbona somebody like Kibe hawezi unite na Amerix na Gaidho, nyinyi ambao mko na following kubwa, hizi vitu zote zenye watu tunasema mnazisikiaga na mnazijua, mbona mnataka tena kuform committee Kibe? Na nyinyi tu, if you can't unite kati yako na Gaidho, how will sisi wote tuta-unite aje? Na nyinyi watu ambao mko na hiyo power, hiyo influence, mnaweza tu kujiunga tu nyinyi wote na mpeane tu hizi issues zenye tunaongelea. Hiyo ndio submission yangu.
Wonderful. I'll say Mariam, then Abdul.
Abdul can speak. Sina mengi mimi.
That's the reason I wanted you to speak first. Because I know Abdul will speak alone.
Anthony na Mariam sitting under a tree.
I don't have much as well. My closing remarks will be, I want to report to these people that I have tried to reach out to a few people that Los Pepes has mentioned. And our intention is to ensure that we amplify our voices and consolidate our efforts, so that from a point of unity, then the rest of the decisions can be made. So Mizantu 54 is in, and PP is in. I'm supposed to speak to, I think, though later in the evening. By tomorrow, I should be having some good feedback about along the week, if we can have a good big space in which the way forward will be charted. I think, gentlemen, as we said in the morning, we're now on the right path, identifying the real issues and strategizing on how to attack them, all of us, leaving no one behind. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris. I'm seeing Kenya is on the space.
Did you just call Abdul Chris, Anthony?
Yes.
Did you just call Abdul Chris? Bro, that was Abdul speaking.
No.
Chris, I haven't spoken, bro.
Sorry. Chris, you're back. Good. I wanted to say,
of
Chris
all
has some
people,
issues.
this guy called you Abdul.
Can you
Of
imagine,
all
bro?
people. Anthony.
I'm sorry.
You don't know Abdul very well, eh? You know, Anthony, you're very new. There's some people here who are hiding. They're in hibernation.
No, but you see, Chris knows what I was working on. Then I was still processing Abdul in my head. So sorry, my bad. So I'm Mkenya. Mkenya is on the space. So we have Mkenya go because it's new. Then McKenna. Then James. Then Miriam. Then Chris. Then me. Then Kibe. So Mkenya, the mic is yours.
Someone's mic is on and Joe Kiongeta let us some feedback. Baby girl Mariam.
It's Albert.
Kindly mute them so that tukiongea kusikue na feedback. Okay. One thing is I'm liking the revolution of the spaces in the conversation in this conversation, which is something wonderful. And kuna mtu ameuliza swali very simple and ikanifurahisha sana. Ameuliza tu Andrew Kibe, if you and somebody like Gaitho amwezi ungana, where do you expect unity to come from and such questions? Anyway, that's an aspect of personal accountability, which is, let's say Kibe has his own style of doing things, Gaitho has his own style of doing things. The whole thing, there was something else that was mentioned in the morning, and also people need to understand spaces as Janza leo. There are people who've been doing spaces for the longest. So sometimes hata kama tukisema we are holding each other accountable, let's also look it is in what dimension. I think the Andrew Kibe space is one of the spaces that imekuanga every morning. So I mean, yes, he was being castigated, but for the people who have been on the spaces for long, unajua kuna watu after maandamano imeanza is when wameona spaces and maybe that may be misconstrued to look that way. So I felt like I had to step in for my guy at this point. We also mentioned that these spaces hazijaanza leo. Zimekuwa, Kibe has been hosting the morning show for the longest time, so it's not starting now. So I felt like hata kama ni tunapigana mawe, then if we are directing the anger, let it be directed to the right place. The other thing I would feel like, if you're hosting now, this one, I think I said it on the other space, and I think this is where people need to understand. If you're hosting the space, let's not focus on the next. Let's focus on the now, because what's next is something that someone put it very beautiful on that K24 conversation, the Kasamuel thing. We are so focused on the next, we forget to focus on the now, like what's the plan for tomorrow and how are we planning for tomorrow. So I think that should be hit. Tunaamka around 5, how we getting to the airport and such things. What are some of the converging zones? Vitukai, or to Mombasa Road, or to my guys from Lolongo, the way we'll be matching. So I think that should be the conversation of now. And if now is taken care of properly, it sets a presidency for how the next will look like. So in terms of the conversations, I think less conversations and more on moving forward. But spaces have always been there, and spaces are going to be there. And sometimes spaces, the conversation changes based on what is happening immediately. So let's not direct our anchor into the wrong side. Then I also came to plug myself. This one I have to plug myself. I just realized one of my platform was drafted in Total Energies, and I'm requesting supports from Kenyans who we frequent spaces with. It's on my pinned tweet. So guys, just go create an account and vote for my platform. It's called Condisha. It's a disruptive platform that was drafted by Total Energies, and the final voting day is on 24th. So I've been requesting people, hata kama tuko maandamano, everything is ongoing in life and there are a few things that are moving. So I'll appreciate mkienda kusupport my platform. We've developed the platform alongside a guy called Abraham Odhiambo, and luckily we were selected. So that was just me plugging myself. Na kesho tupatane JKA. Thank you guys.
Mkenya. Huh? Mkenya, it must have taken a lot from you to say what you just said. But yes, I do wish you all the best with your platform. You said inaitwaje?
Kodisha.
Kodisha. Okay. Yeah. Let's. I mean, he's plugged himself, so let's jump on his platform. I remember there's a time we were trying to work on a book with Kenya. I find him to be a very resourceful fellow. So whatever it is that he's pushing, in fact, his brain is what amazes me. So I like to hear his submissions all the time. So even when I'm rushing too fast, I like to listen to Kenya to see, are we going too fast? Are we going faster than you? Or are you guys going too fast? I don't know. It is what it is. Good to see you, Kenya. Thank you for coming through. Are we doing anybody else? Is there anybody else we're doing, Anthony? Oh,
No. We were doing our last submissions.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, there was. I think I gave the order.
I was next. I was
then
next.
Go.
No, for me, I would say this. I don't know why people keep saying Ruto recycled 6. No, he didn't. He recycled 6 plus 2 others. He brought back Linturi through his PA, and he brought back Machogu through his former running mate, his friend. So he recycled 8, not 6. But anyway, this is the language that Ruto understands, the language of pressure and injections. So we either strategize for 2027 to kick him out and have better members of parliament who will represent our interests and have a better president, or we increase the pressure and remove him from office. Any dialogue, in my opinion, won't solve a thing. He doesn't listen. He's not ready to change. He's not willing to change. I'll stick to this and keep to my, to these words that I've just said forever, because I know he's not going to change. So we can try everything possible to have a dialogue, to present petitions to him, but that guy will never listen. So it's either we choose to continue the pressure and have a revolution, or we wait until 2027 and make him a one-term president. That's all I would say for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kenya.
That's not Kenya. Come on. Hey,
That
Anthony.
Makena. I wanted to see whether people are awake.
You're just running to give Mariam the mic, isn't you?
Somehow.
Okay. McKenna, McKenna, when you came here, you've given us the safe answer, the either or answer. You are not either or at the beginning of this conversation. You are doing videos to kick him out. There's no either or. I want people who are going to give direction and say, this is what we are doing. There's no either or.
I'm still for the pressure. Increase the pressure and remove him out. If we can't do that, and we need numbers for that. It's not just me or you. We need millions of people to march. We need to boycott. We need to do a lot of things. We need to do civil disobedience, many other, peaceful demonstrations, occupy, just big numbers like what Bangladesh did, march in numbers, in millions, not just a few people, having, already we are starting to weaken ourselves by disagreeing and fighting among ourselves. We need to have one voice and march together. That is the only way we can kick him out of office. But if we don't have that, dialogue. Yes, Andrew.
Before I let you go,
yeah,
I saw Hanifa put up a post about this guy called this other Walalo. What's his name?
Ali
Noor, yes. So I saw Hanifa put up a post about Ali Noor, saying how Ali Noor is a wash guy. But if you remember very well, Ali Noor has been at the forefront of fighting and putting up posters and giving his resources. So he's been there for the movement. But Hanifa has decided that she wants to take him out.
Yes, okay? And it's not just those two. We have seen even Gaido fighting Boniface Mwangi,
So my question was, because that's what's happening on the ground. They must, those ones who are on the same level must fight. They must. Yeah, so we cannot be on that level of fighting. That's why even at the beginning, I was telling Guaido, stop being that guy and come on this side. Don't be on the side of fighting. The side of fighting is for peers. You come on this side and let's work out something that will benefit the whole movement. So let's be like the custodians of the movement, where you give direction. And that's what I was expecting from you, McKenna, and Dr. Ekuru. Instead of this gaslighting, where you come in and gaslight and tell people, oh, we must fight and we must do this and we must do that. And that's not the reality on the ground.
And if you remember last week on your space, I think it was on Wednesday, I said, if we are going to come together and form even leadership with this movement, it's not about negotiation. It's about having one voice, so that this division that we are having, that is going weakening the movement, stops. And then we speak in one voice and we say, this is what we want. Ruto, if you're not going to do this, we're coming for you, and you go home. We have another election, and choose the kind of president that will serve our interest. It's not about dialogue. You cannot sit. Ruto will beat you in your own game. You go have a dialogue.
No,
with him.
you got lost again. You got lost again. It's always about dialogue. It's always a negotiation. It's always get out of your head. It's always going to come down to how good are you at negotiating. It's always going to come down to that. Why you
look at history? How many times have we had these dialogues? Has it ever?
You and I have never gone in there, but I remember when I saw Raila and Kibaki come out of Serena when Kofi Annan was there, they was both smiling.
Because they created positions. Are you after positions?
Bro,
we are after.
Yes, but the only accountability you can get right now is the accountability you can give to yourself. So you cannot demand accountability from other people. You can demand it from yourself.
No, we can demand it from the leaders because they're there.
No,
yes.
But you have said already, you've admitted that this government has failed. So it has failed for you. So you cannot demand accountability from a government you consider has failed. So that's why I was asking. The only two options, hold up and listen to this.
Yep.
If you consider that the government has failed, then the only thing that you're interested in is kicking out the government. That's the only thing you're interested in. Yeah. So the strategy should be, how do we kick out this government, and not just kick out this government as quickly as possible, because if they have failed, then they continue to fuck us.
Thank you. Very important. And that's what. Yeah. That's exactly.
So now so elevate the conversation from this Occupy, just JKIA, to let's get this shit done, all of it in one clean swoop. Now, do you have the numbers for that? That's the conversation we should be having. Because if you have the numbers, then you don't need to negotiate with anybody. You do what you want.
Yes. And when I say about this leadership that you're going to form, bringing people together so that we have one voice, that should be the agenda. Not sitting down with a failed president and negotiating. He's not going to listen to you. They killed us.
Very good. So now that conversation can be held by this team that is going to be brought together. And I do want to see you in that team, McKenna. I see a lot of value that you bring in, especially with your Australian head. Yeah. So I think so you see that for us to sit down to talk, at some point we'll agree. And once we agree, then now we can put our energy behind that agreement. You see what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's as simple as that. Thank you, McKenna, for coming through, bro.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Billy Mijungu. Billy Mijungu I've invited this guy here. No, he's come here several times. I've never ever spoken to him. Billy. All right, Billy is missing in action. Yeah. Who was next? James. James, go ahead. And then Anthony's new girlfriend or new nyanye can go.
I've seen her hand is up. She can. Mariam, go ahead.
Oh, you guys are such gentlemen. Now this was just a quick one to remind everyone on this space, please, you can go to Google and check on the Punguza Mzigo amendment bill. That was proposed by Ekuru. It's there. If you want, I'm going to actually pin it on my profile. I think we need to go through it because it's going to address one of the major issues that we are facing in Kenya right now, which is our wage bill. So I'm going to pin it on my profile also. Let's take time to go through it. He said that he's welcoming any other suggestions that you may have. Let's do this very fast so that you can so that you can go into the signature collecting process. So I really do appreciate Andrew. I appreciate you for the space, and I'm going to pin it on my some wars are going to be won qua streets. I do support demos, 100% demonstrations. But again, there's some things that we have to change on the table that is in the boardroom. So Asante, I do appreciate this time.
The gentlemen here who've all been giving their space to speak to Mariam. Hey, Anthony and your group. Everyone, when Mariam raises their hand, they are ready to give up their space.
Bro, they're even sending her money, I'm sure. Mariam, can I send you some coffee? James. Anthony Zukov. Anthony had to get that industrial strength charger so that he doesn't drop now that Mariam is here. Hey, James, are you there, bro? James, save us from ourselves, man.
Yeah. So this is great. At least we are making some steps towards what we should be doing. Remember, the Telegram group is posted above. Like even that bill that we are talking about, Punguza Mizigo, such things we'll need to sell them to people. Like there's a lot of work that needs to be done. So let's build the machinery.
Good one. Straight to the point. Taleb Ogola. In Kure.
Yes. Niaje, bro.
Takwaje, bro.
You know, I've been listening since morning. I wanted to see if you guys are going to divert to talk about other silly things the same way we've been doing each and every time. Nilikuwa tunataka kuja kuwa whip. But here's the thing, Kibe. I hear people talking about peaceful demonstrations. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. There's nowhere in the world that peaceful demonstration has ever changed anything. Anthony, I heard you saying that people should try and demonstrate peaceful tomorrow. That one will never do anything. It will never. The government can never feel it. The only way the government will feel a protest is if it is chaotic as it's always been. So easy stories as you peaceful demonstration, like I heard McKenna saying, is just bullshit. It doesn't make sense. Ama Kibe mimi ndio sijui vitu nasema. Where has peaceful demonstration ever taken anyone? Where?
You know, in countries where the constitution is followed. Na hiyo ndo kitu nasikia watu wakisema hapa story ya constitution. Oh, you know, the constitution. When people are fucking you, they're not thinking of the constitution. When they are being corrupt, are they thinking of that constitution? Yet, the constitution has a way to make sure that they can be gotten when they are corrupt. Even the EACC cannot do anything about this constitution that you're talking about. So mukisema mnaenda kwa streets, mtaendaje kwa streets na constitution? I make sense.
That's why I said, Kibe, every time you call a politician here, they keep on telling us, you know, the constitution says this, but that same constitution, you people are bypassing it.
They're using it to fuck us. So that's why they'll keep you talking about the constitution. I've not mentioned the constitution. I don't need to talk about it because whatever needs to be fixed can be fixed minus that constitution.
Of course.
I mean, if Raila was given a prime minister post, it was not in the constitution. Yes, in a constitution.
These people keep mentioning the constitution every time they talk, and themselves, they are bypassing it, Kibe. And I'm like, what the fuck are these people even telling us? If you are bypassing it, we can also bypass it. Why is it that you are refraining us when it reaches a point that us, we now want to deal with you. You are telling us about the constitution. Me, I even felt, Kibe, that even these politicians, these ones, the MPs, the governors, because the president has said that the law itself is holding his hand and he cannot deal with them, then he can let us deal with them then. If any of them is corrupt, they tell us. Tunaweza deal now virahisi sana. We don't even need to take them to court or wherever. So as much as these people want us to follow the constitution, we must also be hard on them. That is why I was saying the other day that if they don't want to resign, we can force them to do the things we want them to do. We don't need to keep on murmuring them as if they are babies. So history, peaceful demonstration doesn't
1
make
minute.
sense to me.
Taleb, I love this. Okay, let's even scrap peaceful. Let's use violence demonstration. But have you realized, you missed the point when Kibe keeps on repeating Raila got a prime minister that was not in the constitution. So let me break it down. Maandamano is in the constitution. It gained Raila nothing. There were also 2 deputies who are not in the constitution. So when do we get change? We only get change when we go to the table. Wase waliandamania Raila, but the change Raila wanted, he got it on the table. The change Uhuru wanted for him to be deputy, he got it on the table. So that's why from where I sit, the table is where we shall get what we want.
You are right, Anthony. And that is why I was saying that, okay, for them to invite us to the table, we've been chaotic. That is why they are inviting us to the table. I'm just against this notion of peaceful demonstration. It doesn't make sense to me. If we were peaceful, they would never call people to the table. Like right now, the way Kibe, you're organizing to meet and talk to them. If people are peaceful, we will never reach this extent of them wanting to meet us. But the reason as to why they are meeting us is because we've been chaotic. We've been destroying things. That is the only way out. If they can't listen to us, we do it our way. So I feel so bad when someone comes here to speak about the constitution or this and that. Who follows the constitution? That's just on paper. It doesn't make sense kwa ground hiyo kitu haiko. So Kibe, good luck, bro. You keep on doing what you're doing, but this nonsense of people this nonsense of people telling us that we need to follow the constitution has to stop, or this nonsense of peaceful demonstration, it has to stop. It doesn't make sense. The only way out is to burn things, to destroy things. That is the only way out, and they will listen. But if you say that now you are going to sit on the roads, nobody is going to listen to you. I'm done, Kibe.
Taleb.
Mute yourself.
Taleb has managed to get every word that we've been having in our heads out, because that's what we're thinking. Peaceful demonstrations mean nothing. Not in Africa. As well as this idea, in fact, I don't think there's a place where peaceful demonstrations make any sense. So when you talk about demonstrations, even when you're talking about that civil unrest, you better be sure what you're talking about. But if you are sure, then I'm okay with you. I'll support you. If you're unsure, tell me you're unsure, and then we shall craft a solution together. But if you're sure, bro, me, I'm 100%. The day Gen Z told me to go to town, June 25th, bro, I even bought a jacket for it. I was like, man, I can't wait to go to town and represent my, because they were sure. It was clear. Bro, I didn't even, I'll tell you today, I never read that finance bill, because once I made my choice and I was like, this is the direction I'm going, then it doesn't matter what's in the finance bill. These guys need us to support them. And I did. I was very excited. You should have seen me for the first time in town. I was, it was a big deal for me. So even for now, we have to decide what it is that we are doing. And that decision hasn't been made yet. That's why you are hearing all this doubt everywhere. And Taleb, I'm saying, if you had come together as, like now, all these people, which I'm still advocating for, then the message would have been clear. Then all of us would be pushing for one thing, and that would bring the government to its knees quickly. But now, with the confusion, then what are we doing? So let's get rid of that confusion and learn how to work together. Taleb, thank you very much. Is there anything else you want to say?
Then Kibe, I don't think you need to tolerate these people who keep on coming here to say that, these things has been tried. I mean, these things have been tried all along. They've never worked. Raila went for sijui what. You're not Raila, bro. If you're coming here to tell us about Raila, the people who are going there are not Raila. So if you have a different opinion, you don't want people to go there, wewe enda mahali penye watu hawataki hizo vitu. We will do it our own way and then we'll reach where we'll reach. If we fail, come and tell us we've failed. Stop discouraging people when they've not even tried. So Kibe, you don't even need to tolerate such kind of people. If someone comes here with those useless ideas, I mean, like these politicians who are coming here, I heard you are talking with Ekuru Okot. They are not saying that Ruto, I mean, they are saying Ruto must go because they also want a piece of the cake. It's not like they are coming here to tell us that Ruto must go because they have a good intention there. This is someone who has even vied for president. So it is just selfish interest. So don't come here to tell us what to do when you don't want to follow the path we want to follow. We've all been talking all along and nothing has been done. Let us go that direction. Come and tell us we failed after we failed. Thank you, Kibe.
Hey, thank you, Luo. Very nice. Very, very nice. All right.
Kibe, just a second.
Go ahead.
No one has ever gone to State House who says you puny ass motherfuckers. So there's a totally different element we are going with. How we think it's different. But anyway.
Just a second, Anthony and Kibe. There's someone here who's just come in my DM. Her name is Hanan Deritu. And this is what she's saying. I thought maybe it was just worth reading. Can you highlight the participation on the appropriation bill is needed today by 5 p.m.? I never understood what she said. I said, Hannah, what do you mean? She goes ahead and she says, appropriation bill needs your civic duty. They need to know which place needs to be allocated more money, one which have the budget cut. Okay. The problem is they have people until, oh God, the English. The problem is the people have until today at 5 p.m. sharp. Send the email to the clerk, cna@parliament.go.ke before 5 p.m. today. And I'm like, if she can come here and explain whatever she's saying, then I don't know. Does anyone understand what she's saying? Because to me, it's not really making any sense. Unless there's a bill that has to be passed here today, that by 5 p.m. the whole thing will go kaput. But Hannah, to be honest, I don't understand what you're saying.
Bro, it's
Does anyone have an idea?
It's 4:18. Even by 5, if I was to try and get a nut from my nuts, that would be almost impossible, bro. What are you saying, my guy? Just move on beyond that story. It's only stories are jaba, bro.
Kabisa. But anyway, I think I don't have any other final submission. I'll leave it at that. So, Anthony, back to you and Kibe.
Oh, no. James is next.
No, James talked. We were waiting for your girlfriend now, and then we close this shit up. Can you finish up with your girlfriend, and then we go?
Okay, let me just go. Oh, James, you're back?
Z, bonga. I was just laughing at you and your girlfriend.
Okay. Now, this is my take. And just as to go kidogo kando, you see the increase has raised about appropriation bill. These are the things James's mind can fix. Because now we could have had that appropriation bill somewhere where James can fix it and it's accessible to everyone. But let me just go to my closing submissions. I think Taleb has tackled most of it. But let me say this. For me, we all somehow feel that when you talk with Ruto, he will kill you, he will do this. And that fear is what is making us not get anywhere. But people should ask themselves, why is Kibe and Anthony, why are they so willing to die? It's because we know that guy is not going to do that to us. Okay? Plus, we just need to get it done. Someone said yesterday that, well, we are simply sending kids to die, and no one can feel the pain of a parent burying a child. Okay? So we are not going to talk on behalf of Ruto. We are going to talk on behalf of the people who believe the 50 million, 40 million, 30 million, the number of Kenyans who feel we represent, or the team selected will represent them. Those are the people we want to talk for. Because surely, for how long shall we die? None of them is dying, but we are dying, and that needs to stop. Hata hiyo kugongwa na rungu, it just needs to stop. You get? Nothing is achieved. No one in history has achieved anything on the streets. And even if we don't change everything that people are saying, this is what I know. All demonstrations have changed the leadership style of this country in a big way or in a small way. If there's a dent we shall put in the leadership style, if there's a small change we shall bring, that's what we are going for. Someone else in another generation will bring another change. That's it. So let's change what we can. What we can't change, we leave it for someone else to change. I'm done.
Thank you, Anthony. I don't think there's anybody else who has anything else to say. It has been a wonderful conversation. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming through. Let me just make a few clarifications before I leave. I've seen a lot of chatter. Yes. Yes to everything that you guys are speculating. Yes, Kibe wants to be the leader of the Gen Z. Yes. I want it all. I want to be that guy. I know I have the right, I have the right temperament for it. Let's put it that way. Yes. And Gen Z, you should not be afraid. You should not be cowed. My pleasure to be the leader of the Gen Z, if they will have me. That's not what I want. What I want is the power to negotiate. That's what I want. So if Gen Z can group themselves into a nice bag that you can walk into a room with, then that bag is going to be a powerful bag. And that's what I'm saying. And we can get a lot of shit done. So don't be the guy who complains that the government is doing nothing when the opportunity for you to go in there and fix it exists, which is what I see. The opportunity exists. So whoever is out there who is thinking that we're doing this for political position or whatever, yes to everything. So grab your opportunity when you see it. There's an opportunity here for many of us. Grab this opportunity. Don't let them cow you down from grabbing an opportunity. Yes, you must learn to be very decisive. Yes, I want it all. I want Anthony to want it. I want Chris to want it. The other day we were inviting Mariam. She said she doesn't want it, but we invited her. So if you want it, you go for it. Just like when you want a woman, you go for it. Whatever it is that you want, you go for it. And there is no shame in this game. So now, for you, Gen Z, it's up to you to look at the people who make sense to you. You go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. So thank you, Taleb, for, bringing us back to that path. I appreciate it. For the rest of you, I will see you tomorrow.
This is The Morning Show with Andrew Kibe. Every Monday to Friday, only on AndrewKibeRadio.live.
Wake your punk ass up.